If you Google the terms Gotham Knights 30 FPS, you're going to see article upon article upon article talking about Gotham Knights having been at 30 FPS. In fact, the articles, because the producer at the time talked about why the game was at 30 FPS, a lot of people talked about it. In contrast, if you Google Until Dawn Remake 30 FPS, you're barely going to see much from the press talking about this. Mostly, you're going to be seeing this in forums, Twitter posts, and maybe small communities actually discussing this. There's a reason I'm making this video because it's very important that we actually get down to the meat and potatoes of this conversation. When Gotham Knights came out and the producer said, guys, the reason why this game is 30 FPS is simply because we've created a game that has a lot of detail and it has untethered co-op, and it's not as simple as us basically dropping the resolution, so our game only has a 30 FPS mode. The developers got dragged infinitely on the internet. What's crazy is back then, ladies and gentlemen, I made a number of videos. I was coming at this from the game development perspective. I've been working with Unreal Engine 4 for about at least 2.5 years, almost 3 at the time. And having done Unreal Engine 4 and 5, now I think I'm around 4 years in, I was trying to explain to, my community. Boy, was I getting dragged in the comment section. A lot of people did not like those. Some people were like, no, the standard should be this, the standard should be that. Only for us to come back now, and then Until Dawn being at 30 FPS, I'm talking about it and saying, why do we not have the exact same amount of energy? And I'm seeing people defend Until Dawn and explain technical reasons why the game is 30 FPS. You know what's even crazy? When people were dragging me in the Gotham Knights whole fiasco, I went back and I looked at the comments, and there's some people who were complaining about Gotham Knights being 30 FPS who are actually playing Until Dawn right now. I don't want to, put any names out there, but the receipts are all on my channel. Now, you may not find those videos, but I do have access to them. They're videos that are on my channel, and if you were able to maybe make your way all the way back, you'll be able to see them. They're here. It's insane how a lot of this switching went on, and for some reason, some people think it's going to just pretty much disappear. No. You see, we in the gaming space and in the gaming community, I think our humble pie was due this generation of video games. Too long did we walk around thinking that we were the stuff of legend when really we're just customers to companies that are hungry and wanting to make money. So our best bet and our, in my opinion anyways, our strongest suit was always to be very aware of what was going on, but we refused to be aware. Instead, we took on the fact that we now had keyboards and decided that being a keyboard warrior was more valuable and actually being, or at least expressing the intelligence that we have as gamers, because gamers are some of the most intelligent people out here. No doubt about that. Gamers literally represent when it comes to like brain power. However, when it comes to video games, it seems like we let the emotions take over and we can't necessarily, in my opinion, think very thoroughly about a lot of these things. So if you look at my Until Dawn videos, and I'm not going to point anybody's names, you can look through the channel as you want, do your own research. All the information is here. You're going to see people giving technical information. You're going to see people sounding just like they are the technical director of the game, telling you why the game doesn't need a 60 FPS mode. Even this whole 30 FPS fiasco moved itself to Starfield, where people mocked Bethesda. And this is why we were saying that, come on, this whole Starfield thing, isn't it just weird? Because in between all these games, by the way, before we even got to Until Dawn Remake at 30 FPS, we were already at Zelda Breath of the Wild at 27 FPS in some scenarios, and people said, oh, it's because it's lower hardware. Do you want to see my Zelda video comments? I made videos on that. And people told me you're being disingenuous because the hardware is lower hardware. And I told them, I'm like, yo, it all depends on the developers and what they're capable of doing and how much they want to go ahead and put in terms of developing their game and optimizing it to run at higher frame rates. They can do it, but they'll have to make sacrifices. In some cases, they'll lose a lot of quality to be able to get you that 60 FPS on the machine that you're playing on. Because if you wanted to run 60 FPS at, really good visuals, you need more juice. You need more power. Now that the PS5 Pro is here, it's proven everything that I was saying back then as reasonable and accurate in the conversation. The consoles that they sold us in the generation of PS5 and Series X were highly limited, super limited. And even the Pro console itself is also very limited because not much has been changed in it. You're still going to be sticking with architecture that is as similar, to the old architecture as almost anything. And even though it has some differences and some improvements, the improvements are not impressive enough. They haven't even reached what is already available, say, on a broader market in terms of PC and in terms of PC hardware. So this is actually very interesting to see across the board and see people try to justify this. And to be very honest, I'm not really upset that people are trying to justify it. I'm a little shocked that the hypocrisy, that the energy levels are not the same. It could be that, the folk that are actually seeing these 30 FPS things are demoralized, or it could be that they finally have gone to the point where they've just realized, oh, okay, so everything that we were being told back then was actually true. And this statement that was given by the, lead producer at the time, I think she may have been a lead producer on Gotham Knights at the time, was her just trying to not say that, your console can't do it if we keep our game the way it is, unless we disable, when you pick the performance mode, we disable, the co-op mode, so that way you'll be able to still play your game. Because even on high-end systems, when you run co-op in this game, it really tanks your performance. Even if you're using, I've played it sometimes on a 4090. I think I was recording footage for you guys one day, gameplay footage on the 4090, and I was playing, and somebody joined my session, and I was laughing because, man, it went all the way from 4K 60 to 4K 45, because it has untethered open world. Somebody can be on one side of the map and be doing all kinds of stuff, and then you can be on this side of the map and be doing all kinds of stuff. And it just lets you do that. It's not like Elden Ring, where Elden Ring will tell you, no, you can't leave this area with this person. And both of you can ride bikes in the world. You could just do everything in the world. That is performance heavy. So at the end of the day, I'm happy that, right now everyone's a technical analyst for Until Dawn. And then, yes, Gotham Knights did have its own technical issues as well. Even the PS5 and Xbox Series X port and PC port, they were not fully, performance. They were dropping frames. And they got roasted for that. But Until Dawn, I'm not seeing anything. Like I said, if you just Google the results, you'll see nada. Not a thing on the internet. Is it because it's a PlayStation studio? It could be. Or is it because, PlayStation fans are pretending like the game did not show up? It could be. Or maybe this is actually funny because Xbox fans aren't even really paying attention to these PlayStation games, which many have always, sworn that Xbox fans don't have any games to play. And even the Xbox fans don't even have any time to talk about it. Like, even right now, if you go all the way down to this, I mean, I guess maybe because it's my own Google account, but you'll see the thumbnail to the video that I actually made, for the game. It's weird. It's weird that nobody wants to talk about this. And I've been told in the comment section that, another content creator has spoken about this. I saw the post on Twitter. It was on Twitter. I was scrolling, and I saw somebody say it. I was like, what? So I went to this Analyst the Bits video, and I was like, no freaking way. This game is running at 30 FPS and the internet hasn't broken. Some people in my comment section are telling me, well, it's because it's a walking simulator kind of game. Why do you need 60 FPS for this? What? This is probably the game that more than likely should give you 60 FPS over a game like Gotham Knights, because you don't have to really fire too many animations and VFX and, camera spins all over the place, because the game is literally curated in almost all the experiences that you get. But I digress. We're logging this one in just to show the hypocrisy and to show that, hey, man, it appears to me that the red pill has been served with this generation, and people are now knowing their place. Like, hey, if you want more performance, you need to go get beefy hardware. To me, I think this is the best thing that has happened this generation. A lot of these games coming out and seeing gamers respond differently because it's either a game they like or a game they favor or a game that, back and forth. I really love it. And I love the receipts at the end of the day. So thanks so much for watching. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Hopefully we'll talk pretty soon. Shout out to those who've been able to provide us the information. El Analista de Bits, the legend, and peace out.